Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of ELEV8. I am your host, Jay Caraway, and I'm waiting on my co-host, Mr. CJ Boyd, to get in. He told me that he's running a little bit behind, but all good. We're going to hold it down, do what we got to do anyway. So with that being said, man, tonight I just had a really interesting week watching the things that's going on in the media and this whole thing with I'm gonna call him by the correct name, Mr. Ye or Yee, whatever he wants to be called. It's a very interesting topic because we go back and we think of freedom of speech, and that's all I can think of when it comes to this. Not saying that I necessarily agree with his stance, because God knows I don't, but just the freedom of speech for the media to feel like, okay, we're going to take down his interview. We're going to basically mute him. We want to keep him from being able to say the things that some people will find controversy. To me, that's really interesting. And believe it or not, I honestly felt that way even with our former president, Donald Trump. I felt that way with him. Like, yes, a lot of things he was saying totally didn't agree with. Most of the things he said I didn't agree with, but I also felt like, okay, well, this man has a God-given right to have freedom of speech, but it isn't free. And I just feel like, us as a society and us as a people, we have to be able to recognize that, we have to be able to see that, and we have to be able to speak towards that. And with that being said, boom, there go the man right there.
What's good, man? What's good?
Oh man, just another day cooling. How about you?
Man, I was working out, and when we were texting, I was like still working out and stuff. So I took a shower, man, and that shower felt good, man. Like, I don't know if you had like one of them days where you just want to just chillax. I'm just like, oh man. Then I check my time, boy. It's 6:50. I say, oh, hold up, I gotta get the suds off me. So you know what I'm saying? So, but nah, it was one of them days, man. I working out, twice. So
right
yeah,
on.
and I did this fasting. So I actually started the day 224 pounds. Now I weighed myself. I was 219.8. So yeah, like I be
within 24 hours.
Yeah, within 20, bro. That's just how my metabolism works, bro. Like, and I post on my Facebook after we get done with here. I post on my Instagram, but yeah, I was 219.8, so already 4 pounds and then some off. So yeah, but after this, I'm going to McAllister's, boy. I'm about to get me 2 sandwiches of fat ass potatoes. I'm on all the ranch y'all got, boy. Finna do it up. So
to be young and have that type of metabolism.
Hey man, you see, I'm drinking water, shit, bro. And this is with me drinking the whole day. I think I got to start drinking at like 1:00. So I was.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Ben Southers in the building, Mr. BS3 himself.
Yes,
Facebook user, not sure who you are, but please go ahead and just click the little link or whatever, go through the steps to let StreamYard use your Facebook name and picture. But thank you for tuning in. And of course, my one and only, my favorite, little Jay-Z's Cars Review, Mr. Jeremiah Caraway in the building. What's up?
Hey, hold on. Hey, Jeremiah. Hey, bro, so we want to review my car, man. Shit, boy, I got that Dodge 2020.
Hey, CJ, let me tell you, he loves the Chargers. So your car, he'll be sitting there trying to rev it and everything. I'm not responsible. Make sure you get a waiver sign before you let him do anything.
Oh, hey, well, if that's the case, if you ain't gonna pay for the shit, then never mind. Hey, because what I was gonna do, you know what I'll do next time? You gotta tell me when your boy over, and I'll take him around the street. Sometimes
You see that? I
you want
told
to let
you.
me know? Yeah, I got you, little dog. Hey, we can. Hey, I got the 2021 Dodge Charger RT Plus. When I tell you, boy, and mind you, I modded my thing, so I took the mufflers off, I took the
Mhm.
resonator off, and I bought a throttle control pedal thing. So it acts like like the cars back in the day. It's this little barrier that they put to where you're not getting all the throttle. But with this
Right.
car, but with this little piece, I hooked it up to where I'm getting all the throttle, and the sport mode on this little piece I got is faster than the sport mode. So instead of that little lag time, it goes from the first gear to the second gear like that. It go from first to second. It don't do the whole go back, and it's
Right.
1, 2, 3, and 4, and
Ain't no
so
drop. Yeah, I got you.
ain't no drop. So hey,
Yeah.
so when your son ready, let him know. I let him. He can sit in the he can sit in the pack. Now he ain't gonna get in the drop. Hell
I
no,
know
the
he
drop.
ain't gonna drive it, but I'm telling you now, he did a review on my car, and I was like, "Come on, dude!" Like I wasn't tripping because
Oh, he did.
yeah, I'll send you the link for it.
Yeah, send me the link. Yeah, okay,
He did a hell of a job. I got to give credit where credit's due. He does
okay.
his homework. He know what he's talking about. I'm extremely proud of it. I just want him to, I know he's passionate about cars, so it's
Yeah.
really up to him how far he want to take it. You know what I'm saying? Like I told him, I'm gonna support him whatever he wants to do. You just have to keep showing me that passion. And then we
Hey,
got our big brother, Mr. 8 Trap B, is in the building with the End of the
yes,
Bench podcast. Well, End of the Bench media. Let me get that right. Absolutely.
yeah, get it right, get it
Now,
right. Hey,
but I wanted to ask you your thoughts on like I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was the Drink Champs interview with Kanye
uh-huh,
or with Ye, whatever he wants to be called.
uh-huh.
But it brought up so much controversy because of his statements, of course, with the George Floyd thing, but
Yeah,
also the comments that he was making about the Jewish community and the thoughts that he had about how they conduct themselves, how they do business. And this is nothing new. And I know A-Trap definitely can
of
speak to
course,
this
of
with
course, of course.
with being in hip hop. Like it seems like our community is not the ones, like, yes, we're the creators of it, yes, we are the originators and the best at it, but it seems as if like we're not getting compensated the way that we should be getting compensated, whether that's music, whether that's fashion, whatever
Mhm.
industry you look at that we're dominant in. It seems like we're not being compensated in that. And I wanted to know your thoughts on that because for me, one of my favorites is Killer Mike. And when I saw that he was getting backlash because he said basically before he votes, he wants to make sure that he recognizes what party is going to do what and who's going to
Yeah,
benefit his movement, his cause,
yeah,
and what he wants to do. Which I feel like most of us, like, that's not most of us. I feel like all of us, that's what we should be doing with our votes. We shouldn't just be going out here giving Democrats our vote because we're black and we don't want any more Republicans. We got to
hmm,
know, like, okay, who's going to benefit us the most? Because keep in mind, the man that's in office now, he was on the Breakfast Club and made a comment, if you don't vote for him, you're not black.
right,
Keep
right.
that in mind and ask yourself honestly, like, okay, what does that mean and what are you doing for the black community as a whole? But I want your thoughts, CJ.
Well, first off, this is a little trivia for you, son. I just want to see if you're a car guy for real. What type of horsepower does my Dodge Charger RT 2021 got? What type of horsepower? Like, what's the horsepower? I need to know that. And if you get that right, hey, if your son get that right, and I can't tell if he's googling it or not, but that's all right. I'll let him slide. Hey, I may let him rev it up one time. I'm gonna make sure that shit's in park. I'm gonna make sure it's in park, because if it ain't in park, he gonna, boy, say, hey, I'm gonna press you like how that boy pressed that them kids on be like, Justin, your kid done wrecked my damn car, man. No, I ain't gonna do that. Hey, if you don't see me on Elevate no more, you know what happened. You gonna say shit.
It went all bad.
Hey, Justin, kid done ran my car into shit. Nah, we good.
I make sure of that. I make sure you got your keys. But I want to read, before you go, I want you to read A-Trap comment. He said, we don't get our fair shake because we buy in the industry, the interest of money.
Yeah.
And
so
that's true.
Well, if you ask me, actually, I think what you need to say is kind of corrected. I actually feel like we do get compensated. I just feel like we're not getting the most we can, and let me explain by that. You got to understand, which I was a little ignorant to this as well, but you know how, of course, do you want to be rich or do you want to be wealthy? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, let me tell you, honestly, either or of them options are better than what me and you got right now. And most of these athletes, most of these rappers, most of these creators, these fashion designers, some of them, they was in poverty. So, I mean, 2-3 mil, yeah, you're right. This other dude eating off me, but shit, I still got 2-3 mil. So it's a lot better than what I originally had. You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm not going to fault them for that. However, what I will say is, as you continue to get these checks for a very long time, like as a Kanye West, as a Jay-Z, as a Dr. Dre, mind you, all three of these people I'm naming are like billionaires. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or if Dr. Dre ain't a billionaire, he gotta be right.
Oh, Dr. Dre's a billionaire.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I know when he signed off on the beach, when he sold with Apple.
Yeah.
Shit, I know they dropped it. Okay. For real.
They dropped the bag on that.
Yeah. They dropped $1 billion on that. But anyway, as you get more into the game, that's when I would definitely say you need to start thinking about ownership. You've been making millions, you've been making hundreds of thousands even for years. So it's time for you to maybe, up in that game. With that being said, I do kind of see that whole, we want to own a bit, like ownership. And I definitely understand that. But like I said, in A-Trap, and you can attest, hell, for people that grew up in poverty and just,
Okay, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, right. But you know what I'm saying? But but people that was, broke their whole life and
yeah, you bugging now, man.
He said, "Daddy, pay." I like you, son. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, for people that's that's in that area, trust me. When I tell you 2-3 mil, that's for any one of us, like anybody that's a regular, quote unquote, common, whatever. Shit, I take that in a heartbeat. But obviously, like I said previously, eventually when when you've been making millions and getting that 2-3 mil for a couple of years, you're like, well, damn, I'm pouring everything in. And that's one thing I also want to bring it back to. You're right. As Black people, we're never compensated what we're actually owed until it's like either too late. But I just really feel like the reason why we haven't really tapped into that yet is just because, like I keep restating, we're coming from these broken homes. So of course the meal is gonna look amazing. Now, obviously, and this is when, quote unquote, you have them, quote unquote, the Jewish people, the white people, they capitalize on us every single time. And I understand that. They go, oh, we're gonna capitalize. Hell, the people that sign these rap artists, they making the bread. They out here doing these 360 deals. They're hell, they keeping your royalties. They're doing all that. Yeah, they gonna give you them advances. They gonna give you, and they gonna take you out the hood. And they gonna get you because you're making money for them.
Yeah.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
I love you pointed that out. Absolutely.
Hey, but to be honest, it's a tit for tat. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a tit for tat. It is not the worst thing in the world. Your son or somebody we know, yeah, they get that money, they get their little breakout, but they're not getting all of it. To begin with, that's amazing. But obviously, throughout the history and throughout the years, eventually, you want to start tapping into that ownership. And then just on Kanye in general, I heard his statements, and he's one of those people. He's kind of in that category of like that Lil Wayne, that kind of like you're so rich, like you ain't even black no more. You know what I'm saying?
You feel like he lost touch of his reality.
Exactly. Hey, what's that song Jay-Z put out that I'm not black, I'm OJ?
Oh yeah, the OJ song. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Kanye kind of lost touch with reality.
Okay.
I feel like he, and that hurts because Kanye, one of my very I put him up there as far as producing wise. I put him up there. Shit, I don't with damn near like DJ Premier. Like I put him up there. With the
you gotta put him up there with anybody. I mean that's
just
there's
with
no
anybody.
yeah,
Exactly.
there's no denying the man's like genius,
musical genius.
Yeah, musical genius. It's the same thing like with the R. Kelly situation. Like the person, yeah, we don't want to support that, but the music you can't deny.
Oh yeah, you can't deny it.
Classic hits. And it was the same thing with Michael Jackson. Remember they went through that with him. And in my opinion, I think that's why like the music industry, if you look at it, when you look at the deaths of Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston, these were people that were putting themselves in position where their voice was bigger than their catalog of music. Their voice transcended worldwide. And they could expose a lot of things that I feel as if the powers that be or music executives that truly run the things or truly pull the purse strings had to say, nah, we got to go ahead and get them up out of here. Because it becomes a point, even for us, like you said, I love the fact that you said they're going to get you out of the hood. They're going to give you these advance or these deals that you get the money up front, but on the back end, you got to recoup. You got to make sure that we're okay. We got to make sure that we're still able to do what we need to do. Because once we're done with you, we need to find the next greatest thing. And hip hop, honestly, our hip hop really is a young man's game. It's a young man's sport. And I think that a lot of us have to, well, not us, but a lot of hip hop artists have to start looking at it like, let's say you or myself, how we looked at sports or how we looked at opportunities that were presented to us as this is just a tool that's going to help me get to bigger and better, right? This is just a tool that's going to help push me or catapult me to the next level. So you look at a guy like Dre, right? Like imagine if Dr. Dre didn't do beats. Imagine if he never got in the headphone game. Where would he be now? Ain't nobody checking for Dr. Dre like that. You know what I'm saying? Or imagine if Snoop Dogg wasn't as beloved or as accepted by, by the Caucasian society as he is. Wouldn't nobody be checking like, yo, we waiting on that new Snoop album. Like, can you imagine? And we ain't that far removed. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with your taste in music, like you and Jeremiah probably have more of the same artists that y'all know in common.
Yeah.
Where me, I'm pretty much, where I'm at, but you take a guy like, King Doc, or you take A-Trap, where they're like old school, well, what we would consider old school.
Yeah.
Especially with A-Trap being a historian of hip hop. Like for him, I'm pretty sure he could tell you like where it all began, where it all started, and how the wave just shifted, how everything moved from coast to coast, and then it came to the South. So for those, like those different perspectives of the art form, and you look at the ones that pioneered it, if you look at the ones that are relevant, I guess you would call relevant today, they're all young. It's a young man's game, seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, absolutely. And one of these things, when I, with these young rap artists, with these producers, man, when I tell you to stay in the game for hell just for 4 or 5 years, that's truly a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And especially, you're right. I mean, the sports game, the rap game, they on the same side of the coin, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because do you not know how many one hit singles we done heard and then you never hear from them again? And just on a side note, man, and which is why I feel like it's a little bit more of a, I was gonna say, it's funny how when we talk about influence, and here's just something that just never get really brought up. Do you not know us in the South? The chopped and screwed, right? That shit's still around today.
Oh yeah,
today, everybody
I still listen to it. That's like my favorite.
Right, but the whole, like the whole sound, that reverb you hear in today's music, that still influenced, God bless his soul, by DJ Screw himself out of Houston, Texas, but the point is that music is transcendent,
Mm-hmm.
But think about this, right? What if DJ Screw kind of knew, and not just you gotta understand the whole wave of Houston rappers, and we're talking about Zero, Mike Jones, Paul Wall, that whole Swisher House music and whatever. Do you not know had they really they capitalized, but because they didn't have the knowledge, because nobody was talking about the ownership, they wanted that money, which, like I said, and which is why I feel like some people need to be shown grace. Man, them people, hell, they out there in Third Ward, Houston, ain't shit out there. They get the couple meals, with the Slim Thugs and the Zeros. Shit, they cool with they look 5-6 mil, which is
that's great money.
That's amazing money. That's money people ain't gonna touch.
That's life changing.
Like the average male is probably not gonna make 6 or 7 mil. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. But what I wish, what would happen is us, just get more into the ownership game and just get more into, owning your music, not just the whole like, oh, like you own a record label. No, you start trying to branch out. This is a sign. I don't know if you know, Rick Ross is somebody, he's very underrated. Do you not know Rick Ross he owned what, 16 Wingstops? And well, that's how he got started. He owned 16 Wingstops. I don't know how many Wingstops he don't own now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rick Ross don't have to rap. Bro, do you not know the house he used in Atlanta was the house they used off the Coming to America?
Yeah, Coming to America,
yeah. Matter of fact, no. Rick Ross bought who's the boxer? The one that Evander Holyfield.
Holyfield, yeah.
He bought his house, and this, that, and the third. So, it's sometimes, them little nuggets right there. He don't have to rap or do nothing again, But my thing is, with Kanye, kind of, to bring it back with him, sometimes some people, they get too rich, and they kind of lose touch, with reality, which, I mean, kind of, can we blame? I mean,
Uh,
you know what I'm saying?
the,
Like, I mean,
the
truthfully,
only the, the
know,
only reason I say, as far as and to piggyback off what you're saying, one artist that I know in particular that I follow on IG and I always love this music. Slim Thug is the
yeah,
example of owning everything. Like
yeah,
you don't understand. Like he doesn't have to put out music. Another artist that is more big overseas than he is here in America is Ryan Leslie. That's someone that like as far as just pure raw talent, as far as this man sings, he raps, he plays his own instruments, he produces his own records. Like bro, I'm telling you, if you ain't heard this man music, just go check out some of his music. And usually, if you like Fabulous, he does a lot of work with Fabulous. So check
okay,
out his music, man, and you'll have. I went to his live show that he did at the House of Blues, and I was completely blown away. The fact that he went from I'm gonna sing, then I'm gonna rap, then I'm finna jump on these drums, then I'm finna jump on this keyboard. Now I'm on the guitar, now I'm on the trombone and trumpet. Like it was mind blowing. Like the man was his own band, to be quite honest with you. But
yeah,
now a lot of these and it's not just rappers, you know what I'm saying? A lot
of
of
course,
us, like entertainers, or a lot of us that become successful or have a certain status, it's really you lose that sense of where you come from because either your background is that troubling that you never want to experience again, or whatever the case. But you have to understand that you are a role model, whether you want to be that or not, whether you want to
mm-hmm.
accept that or not. You are that, and you have these young kids, and you have these, hell, even some adults that look up to you. They look to you for guidance. Believe it or not, it's so many adults that'll sit here and I see it all day. You remember when those bracelets first came out, the "What Would Jesus Do"
Of
bracelet?
course, of course,
Now, imagine kids or adults being like, "Well, what would let's say NBA YoungBoy? What would he do in this situation? Oh yeah, he'll go
yeah,
out and blast. So let me go in and do
yeah,
what I do."
yeah,
It goes to almost like what you were talking about earlier, like being too tough, right? Like
yeah,
being too tough, where you can't. I hate to say this because it was taught to me by someone that I have a lot of respect for, but I was thrown off when he said this to me. But basically, he had said to me, when people say money doesn't change them, he basically said that's because they ain't made enough. If
yeah,
money isn't changing you, or money isn't changing who you are as a person, or changing your, I guess you could say, your everyday surrounding, then you just ain't made enough. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I feel that, but I feel like money should enhance you, not change you, but
right,
enhance you. And once you enhance yourself, you know better, you do better. So you having those conversations, you're having those talks with the tough guys or the dudes in the hood that's like, oh, you got to check in. All right, I'm gonna check in, but I'm gonna check in and drop this game to you. I'm gonna let you know how you can go ahead and get your bag, but in the same time of getting your bag, you can better these situations. So this whole check-in thing, yeah, we're gonna make sure we good. We looking out for each other. It's a mutual respect of of checking in. It's not one of, oh, I'm here to punk you or extort you for money, right?
right. Well, well, actually, well, I'll say, and believe it or not, I'll say these new school rappers and entertainers, I'll say they're a lot more aware now than what it is now. Obviously, that's due to remember back in the day, all it was really was about was getting that record deal. It was about getting that record deal,
Yeah.
and then possibly you can own your own record, have a sub record within the record you already are a part of. But now with the day of the internet and YouTube, and you can really you can really be independent. You can hire your own people, and then that's something I definitely like to see in this new game, and just in this new game, um, because truthfully, the only thing record labels are good for now is just for like exposure and like radio plays and what I'm saying, things of that nature.
Right.
Because it's too many artists to name now. You don't really even gotta. I mean, it's cool if you have a record deal, but see, people don't understand. See, with these, and for people don't understand how it goes, is they give you in advance. They drop you in advance, but it's like the record label, they need to make like times two more back. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So you gonna do, and that's what I'm saying. And depending on what type of deal you got, either they gonna own all your royalties, some of the royalties, a little bit of here and a little bit of there. That's why some people, they get that deal because they get hot off that one song, and then before you know it, when you realize, you ain't got the people. And truthfully, and that's how you can tell who's a real artist and who's not. Because some people, like some of the best artists nowadays, they're independent. They're in their own. They built a studio in their little trap house, and it's giving their partners making bangers. Versus you have people that get that one song and it's a hit, and then they have all the resources, but it don't get no play. They say the song trash. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm definitely feeling with these, with these younger artists. I would just say, don't let the money change your perception of what's going on out here in the world. I appreciate the artists that still tapped into the streets, not necessarily in the streets, and that's something I did want to kind of bring up. It's funny because us as Black people, like, we be calling some of these people, these people fake. They don't ever check in the hood, but most of these rappers be dying in the same place they try to support. So I can only understand sometimes, like with the Nipsey Hustles, the X's, just these people that are constantly dying. Hell, the young dogs in the world, you know what I'm saying? That they pass away in their own hood, and we like, damn, like, why are you still in here? And then you have the people that don't never tap back in, and they like, damn, like, you don't, you know what I'm saying? So, so yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the people, LeBron Jameses in the world that do literally, literally done built the whole school in his community. He does. And I don't want that to go unnoticed. Because I know we talk about a lot of people that don't. LeBron James, at least to what my knowledge, you don't even need to have knowledge. He shows you he cares about the community. He constantly, he's constantly putting money into the state of Ohio, so
Right.
that especially in the Cleveland area, so they can, you know what I'm saying. So like people like them, people like that, like LeBron James, that checks back in. That's gonna make sure that's starting a school and that's buying property so that he can do what he need to do. So
right,
that's yeah.
No, I feel you. If you think of it, man, these athletes, they had examples. You look at the late great Bill Russell and what he meant and what he did as far as Black people in general standing up for us. He played in probably one of the most racist, segregated towns in Boston, but was always on the front line for us. You look at Muhammad Ali and what he meant for us as far as, I don't want to go to war. I ain't fighting for this country because this country ain't never fought for me. You look at, Jim Brown and what he meant for the Black community and what he still does mean to the Black community. You look at those type of athletes and you just feel like, man, they don't have half of the money that LeBron or some of these athletes have. They don't have half of it. And they were willing to put their necks on the line. They were willing to say, wait a minute, my people are being treated unfairly. Like, to me, that speaks a lot. That says a lot about a person's character. It says a lot about their upbringing. And not necessarily just upbringing, but it says a lot about who you are and what you care about. Because we have to get to the point as a people that we start seeing if one of us hurting, then all of us feeling the results of that, right? Like, I can't nobody say nothing to me about CJ and me not stand up and be like, nah, that's my brother. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Or if I know you, then hey, let me put you in contact with him right now. Let me hear you say that to him so we can work this thing out. Or if we can't work this out, then you just need to keep your mouth shut and keep it pushing, because I ain't finna be bothered with nobody talking crazy about my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we gotta be. Because I feel what they were saying, what Kanye was saying was like, you say anything about the Jewish community, it don't matter what Jewish person you talking about. Just say one thing and they coming for you. And they showed him that when what was that, JP Morgan Chase basically told him, come get your money out of the bank. And you talking about over $3 billion that they told this man to come get. If not, we'll cut you a check. Like, your money means nothing to us. That's power right there. That is real power when a bank can tell you, yeah, that $3 billion ain't going. It's good to have it, but it ain't gonna break us. Like, come get your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see, do you understand what that means, dude? Like,
no, that's
crazy.
Yeah. Hey,
That to me was just like, bro, when I read that, I was just like, oh man, you gotta be. What's up, Miss Walker? How are you?
going down. It's good.
Yeah, but I always thought of that, like, man, like you look at the success that a Suge Knight could have had, and I know this probably like a little bit before your time, but if you look at what Death Row was in the 90s with Snoop and Pop, they had the two biggest rappers in the world at that time, and you look at how that's where, in my opinion, what they say keeping it real goes wrong. That's the biggest example of it, because that situation, man, that all of these guys should have been billionaires. All these guys should have been living a life of luxury and you know, giving back to their communities, uplifting guys instead of entertaining the BS. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, well, you see how his counterpart Puff Daddy was on that money. Shit. Hey, you see how his life changed there. Hey, Puff Daddy, like, yeah, you can talk all that shit you want. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm good.
Hey, and you know what? To this day, still good. You know, hey, he's still good. You see what I'm saying? And by the way, I want to give a quick shout out.
Are you right, Keisha? Death, bro.
Yeah, Death Row. I was gonna say, you know what? And I don't think he get a lot of shout out to Deion Primetime Sanders. When I tell you,
brother,
bringing HBCU back before people get you know what? I know this nigga was not the first one, but when I tell you Primetime has brought something to the HBCU community I have not seen. You know, have you seen anything like this? No, like for real. Like, tell me, have you seen?
Well, being a product of HBCU, I have seen it. But with him, anywhere he goes, he's gonna bring attention. He's gonna bring media attention. He's gonna bring things that most people don't, have that ability. Most people don't have that it factor to draw that type of crowd. So with what you're seeing with Deion, yes, I love it. I appreciate it. I'm thankful that he's doing that. I'm thankful that he did that. And shout out to those young players that really believe in what his vision is, that really believe in that system, that are, in Jackson, that are in the SWAC trying to make this conference what it used to be. Because you got to think about it, before we start integrating with the, our Caucasian counterparts, HBCU is where the NFL really got its stars from.
Yeah.
And A-Trap gave us an example of that. If you look at, probably some of the top skill position players, all from HBCU. It wasn't until they decided we're not going to be able to compete. We can't play these schools because they're going to beat our heads in. Imagine Mississippi State trying to say, yeah, we're going to go ahead and play Jackson State, and they lose that game. You understand what happens there? Like, all credibility of Mississippi State is out the window at that point. Your facilities mean absolutely nothing. Your budget means absolutely nothing because you lost to a school that you looked at as that's for the rejects. Those are for the guys that couldn't cut it. Those are for the guys that we, passed up or whatever the case may be.
Right. But I'll tell you this though, like, and if you have, you know what I'm saying? No, yeah, real talk.
Oh, yeah.
Because real talk, like, now let me tell you, you may have seen that H-Rap, that pay attention to the SWAC and, these HBC. Man, let me tell you something. When I tell you, it wasn't until recently I started seeing these high-level recruits. We had that one tall, like a brother that played basketball. I forgot for what HBCU it was. Was it? I don't know if it was Texas Southern. I forgot what it was, but we're starting to see this emergence of these athletes want to go to these HBCUs. We're bringing it back home, and I love to see that, man. I love to see that because the whole point was you wanted to go to the SEC, the Big 12, the Big 10. You know what I'm saying? Mountain West, all these, these big schools, so you can get the exposure. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Deion Sanders is, when I tell you, he's doing a phenomenal job at Jackson State University. You know what I'm saying? Bringing it back home, and this is what I was trying to tie it into. You see, that's what I'm talking about. He in this prime time we talking about the best corner to ever, you know what I'm saying? You getting swole. Oh shit. Hey man, hey. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you see, I'm like, but you know what I'm saying? I might start putting on okay. No, I'm playing. But like, you know what I'm saying? But now, Deion Sanders is doing an amazing job. And I remember, because of course Ed was like, hey, so what's up with the next job? Are you going, when I tell you, it made me proud. He was like, nah, I'm cool. He was like, I don't want to coach in the NFL because you got to understand, them guys, hey, they already got he said it's hard to tell somebody that's making 20, 15, 8 mil what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, hey, them kids need me. They need somebody. You know what I'm saying? So that just makes me so happy. And that means a lot to the Black community. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't going to lie. You might look at it differently, but how I used to think of these HBCUs, I'm like, oh, man, ain't nothing happening, man. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until these new recruits, you got prime time, and Jackson State getting more TV time than what they ever
got in their whole existence.
You know what I'm saying? So for people, because of course you got people saying, man, SWAC been. Okay, that's fine. I ain't saying it wasn't, but bro. This, no.
Hey. I'm agreeing with you. It has not been what it is now until Deion Sanders. You had some amazing coaches in the SWAC. I mean, look at Grambling State alone with Eddie Robertson. That is a football like football god as far as his coaching ability, what he got out of his players, what he did for his players. You're seeing that with Deion right now. You are truly seeing him raise that level of expectation. He's raising the bar with not only just the SWAC, but HBCUs alone. Because if you look at it, man, especially with football, think about this, man. Think about Texas alone. You have probably two big SWAC teams in Texas, right? With PV and Texas State or Texas Southern.
Texas Southern.
So
yeah.
I don't understand how those coaches can't see what Deion's doing and get excited and get more recruits out of Texas alone. You can build a SWAC championship team right here in your backyard in Texas. If you recruit right, no problem. All day, easy. I can go to Duncanville or DeSoto High School right now and look at their football roster and probably get me a team that can compete with the SWAC. No problem. Hands down.
Hey, you can, but you know what? But it's turning. It's turning, but unfortunately, you have the kids. They want as much TV time as possible. But it is a turning point. Like we're getting to the point to where these NFL coaches, these past 2 years, I've been seeing these draft boards and NBA and NFL. They've been getting these teams. They've been getting these kids from the SWAC. They've been starting to look more because they say, "Oh snap!" Because back in the day, it used to be, you used to take, you take a kid from God knows where the hell, goddamn somewhere. If it's in Louisiana, somewhere in them goddamn bayous and shit, you snatch his ass up and you throw him out there, goddamn University of Kentucky or Duke or one of them schools that always play. You know what I'm saying? He get all the TV time in the world. But now with this, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you be watching them Deion Sanders videos. That whole turn your phone off. That shit. Hey, I've been just like, shit. Let me turn my shit off. I'm about to disconnect the internet off my shit too. Yeah, let me. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was just an example of just like what I was talking about when somebody and we talking about prime time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He came back home and he ain't. He one of them people that act like he ain't too rich. Because Deion Sanders could be doing a lot of other things, but you just hear the way he talk. He like, nah, I'm cool off that. These kids, yeah. I'm here, and this is what we want from our people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's in our community that make it. That you want people to come back, have that sense of reality. Like, oh yeah, let me do this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they get out. And they, you don't never hear them. You'd be like, oh yeah, man, he went to Garland, or he went to Lancaster. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just wanted to get that praise to Deion Sanders because he's doing this damn thing out there in Jackson State, dog. Shit. Hell, I fuck around. Caden fuck around. Well, shit, Deion gonna be old as hell. He fuck around now. That might not even be coach no more. But shit, hell.
Y'all said Caden go ahead and go to Jackson State.
hey, you know what? Caden can play for Grambling State. Bro, when I tell you I went to that PV and Grambling game, them niggas, bro, them corners couldn't cover water in the ocean. The damn guards can't protect the quarterback. I said, man, I'm about to get Caden big ass in there, put his ass as an old lineman shit. Hey, I'm trying to pay for school. Even if I got to drive to Louisiana every weekend, I'm up in there.
I don't blame you. It makes sense, man. I mean, I always looked at HBCUs as a place for us to really get culture and really to get that. It's nothing like it, man. Like you get another sense of pride when you're at a HBCU than you do at any other school, in my opinion. And the beauty of it is what I'm learning now within corporate America. Yeah, it means something when you have these, oh, I went to Baylor, or I went to, Texas, or I graduated at Texas Tech, or y'all don't even
Texas
call it
Tech.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
They say I went to Tech. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I went to Tech.
Yeah,
Like,
that's how they do it. I
yeah,
went to Tech.
yeah,
Like it gets you in there. It definitely does. I'm not gonna say that it doesn't play a role or have an impact. It totally does. But once you in there, you in there. So even like some of my people, some of my peers that I work with that went to HBCUs, it's like, man, really, like you doing it. And I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day. And we had an event to do, and we sitting there and we talking to these kids, and I'm like, yo, man, how many of y'all like really truly have the passion and the desire to say, I'm going to college? You know what I'm saying? Or how many of you feel as if like at this age it's like the norm? You know what I'm saying? Like even for you, I'm pretty sure like, okay, going to college was like the normal thing to do, right? But like my generation, like before my generation, it was, well, actually a couple of generations before mine, it was like you graduate high school, you get you a factory job, or you get you a good paying job, and you start your life. Now it's like if you ain't got that degree behind you, like, bro, it's tough. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You better get that. Hey, you better get your CDL, nigga.
Hey, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Yeah. And another thing is, I was saying this last night because I had to go out to Garland for the Garland School Board Citizen. They're doing a bond act, right? So they're looking to either close down some of the schools out there or remodel a lot of different schools. And it's sad to me that some of those elementary schools, because Garland has over, I think the count was over like 45 schools, 45 or 47 schools within Garland. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
That is crazy.
How many schools did Lancaster have?
Boy, we only got 2 schools, nigga. We got, no, I'm sorry. No. Lancaster High School, Houston Elementary, we got Pleasant Run. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we got. Hold on. Yeah, we got. No,
we only got 2 schools.
We only got. We got 3 schools in this hole. We got 2 elementaries. Oh, I'm sorry. We got 2 elementaries. We got 1 high school, and we got 1 middle school. That's all we got, man. We ain't got shit around this hole, man.
You ain't gonna do. I ain't gonna let you do your city like that.
No, bro. I'm just. No, hey, man. This what it is, man.
We got shit around it.
Bro. Did you see my story last night? It was a horse randomly going. Yeah, that's the type of shit you see out here in Lancaster and this Lancaster. So you see horses randomly. I said, bro, and time out. That horse was going at least like 55 miles per hour because I was going 60. I was going 60. And that horse was just going. Like, he didn't give a fuck like what was in front of it. He just, I'm like, bro.
Something must have spooked it there. It was trying to get away. I
don't know what the hell happened. I know. And I know that shit got too close to my car. I said, no, you
ain't even hit my shit.
Yeah. Hey, you ain't even hit my shit.
You gonna show your horsepower then, ain't you?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Quickly hit it in sports mode at that point.
Yeah, feel me.
That to me, man, and I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, man, like, because I know we talk about this a lot, and I really ask myself this every time I got like an opportunity to do things like that. I'll always, question and ask myself, what can I do to give back, or what can I do to sort of better my community or better my, my background, not even my background, but just better my, what I would consider home. For me, Garland will always be like what Lancaster is to you. Lancaster home, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is for me. And I look at it and I'm like, man, I'm honored and I'm, happy to be a part of stuff like that. But it's eye-opening for me too, because I'm in there and I'm learning. I'm over there. I'm sitting with old heads that know my family, know my parents and stuff. Like sitting there knowing my family members, where I'm like, yo, I don't know that, or I don't know all of that. You know what I'm saying? But just really being involved and being engaged, man, and the opportunities and the doors that it opens for us, and the just to see that growth. And I'm doing that because I'm like, yo, what I learn out here in Garland, or what I get exposed to, I want to be able to impact like justice school, right? I want to be able to, like, I go to this thing called All Pro Dad at his school. We went this morning, and basically they just had the kids have donuts with the dads and basically say, hey, what are you proud of your son or your daughter? Then the kid gets asked the same question. What makes you, what are you proud of as far as your father? You know what I'm saying? Like,
what's your son Cornbread say? What do you say? What came to you?
Oh, he just hit me with the you the best dad ever. And I was like, I appreciate that, Then he hit me with the you keep me fly. I'm like, okay, I hear you.
What the wow.
Yeah, but it's bro, it's stuff like that where you'll see, man, once Caden gets in school and gets to rolling, I hope you really just take that initiative, get involved, show that you there, show not only for him, but show for your community. Show other Black men that, hey, we this stigma that they put on us, these labels they give us, let's make sure they know this ain't what it is. This ain't true. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with Jeremiah, anytime he got something going on at the school, I'm usually there. And the funny thing was, he had an event this summer, or I took him swimming with some of his classmates and stuff. And he had him a little girl that wanted to get at him, but he acted like he too cool to be around his pops at that time. Jeremiah disappeared on me. I'm like, where you at?
It was a sister. It was a sister.
Yeah, it was a sister.
Okay. I had to make sure, if it was one of these, I would have said, "See, you starting off wrong."
Nah, she was on it too. Are you Jeremiah's dad? I was like, whoa, why you like? What are you interviewing me for? What's going on?
That's how they be at that age. I heard that they be like, hey, are you such and such dad?
Boy, I was not prepared for that at all, man. Like, she just had no problem. Her and her little homegirls ran up on me. You Jeremiah's dad? I'm like, yes, ma'am. Like, what's up? Why y'all ain't in the pool? What y'all doing? Like, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And she liked me. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what it is. She texting his phone. I was like, man, give me your phone, get in the pool, man. Oh, no, I'm all right. Like, oh, okay.
Boy, I ain't gonna lie, man. My kid, I don't know, can't have a phone shit. Hey, he fucking around, be a chip off though. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Mom, I got one of these, boys. Yeah, I was in that whole shit. What you, hey, show me some. Hey, I was in that. Hey, I had my phone. I remember I had the first, boy. I had my phone. Hey, I'm talking, hey, show me what's happening. I'm trying to see what's, boy, I had my shit took it immediately, but you know what I'm saying. But man, that's funny. Nah, man, your boy seems like a cool dude, man. I've only met him one time, and that was when he came by the crib. I only met him one time. But he's like a cool kid.
Yeah, man, he's a good kid, man. He really is. I love the fact, and shout out to him for the AB honor roll. I'm super proud of that, man. And
good job, boy.
I just want him to understand to keep it going, man. Like, it doesn't stop. It only goes up from here. You know what I'm saying? And the harder you work, the harder I'm gonna want to work to reward you, Jeremiah. So keep that in mind. Not too much though. We ain't got it like that. We over here. You may have to eat some noodles on some weekends, but you all right though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's facts.
Nah, man, but
Absolutely.
man, like real talk though, man, CJ, I really want you to get your guy or whatever with the whole bus situation. If you can get in contact with him, I think that even now that'll still be cool to have him come on, man, and have him speak to the people as well.
Yeah, I hear him and he said he was down. I just and maybe I need to be like a little bit more like so like maybe on Wednesday I need to hit him like hey like we still because I really just want to I really just want to just sit down and I really just want him because I like I wasn't really trying to grill him or nothing like that. No, I was just trying to have him on be like, hey, like, I just let about your side of the story. I want to know about his side of the story. I wanted to know if he
Right.
can talk about as far as how's the aftermath. And then I just want to just like the only thing I was like, hey, I understand if your daughter getting bullied or if that's how you feel, I understand. We ain't up there, so shit. Don't take my
Yeah.
word. I'm just saying what I seen.
Yeah.
But but what I also was gonna say, I was like, hey, bro, like so, so it was a little girl, shit, I was crying, talking about I just want to go home. I think that's the one that did it for me, because I'm like,
Oh yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
like I'm like, man, if I'm her dad, I'm like, shit, we gotta,
You got a real problem at that
yeah,
point.
hey, we
Yeah.
got a real that PT, the PTA meeting or whatever. That shit about to be lit. Shit, I'm about to be. Hey, that shit gonna be on and popping. But like, yeah, I ain't really want to like grill him or nothing, because
Right.
because we already said what we gotta say. But I just wanted him just to explain,
Yeah.
and then I
Let him
also
have the
want,
platform.
yeah, let them, but then also let them know, like, hey. Like, I mean, did you learn anything from this experience or,
Yeah.
or like, or did your daughter, like, like what was the aftermath
Yeah.
and
What
how can we
came
make
of
this,
this? Yeah.
yeah, and, and how can we make this better? So,
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead, man. We finna jump off because we got perception coming on here in a minute. So we
and we
gonna
still
go
ain't got
ahead.
the invite. So,
Oh yeah, that's coming. I'm pretty confident that that's coming. Keisha, Eric, and I can't miss Latoya. I'm waiting on those invites, but we here. We
well,
waiting.
we gonna be on shit. That's a job. That's from 7 to shit. Hey, would they be doing like at 9?
8:30. Yeah, yeah. They gotta pay us though. You gotta
Hey,
pay
they
us
may
for
have
our
to
time.
pay us because I'm like, shit, hey, that's from like 7 to 10, bro. I already done got out work. Shit, I need to, you know what I'm
We need
saying?
to fill out 1099s.
Yeah, we need to fill out 1099 right quick. Hey, I need to,
Oh
shit, for
man,
real.
yeah, man.
Uh,
Now I'm gonna wrap it up though, man. My
yes, sir.
final thought, and I'm gonna let you get yours. But my
Go
final
ahead.
thought is, man, understand and realize that you know freedom of speech isn't free. What you say, your words do have consequences. They do spark actions out of some people, especially if you have a platform or you are an influencer. Understand the things that you say and that your mouth and your tongue does have power. So use it wisely and use it responsibly is really my thing. And that's it for me. CJ, what you got?
I'll just say, what I'm saying, final thoughts, we really, just us as black people, um, you're right, freedom of speech ain't really, free, but when you get to a certain point, when you get to a certain status, maybe it'd be in your best interest not to talk about what the black community needs unless you're actively involved in the black community and within your community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I wouldn't say anything to Kanye West if which I'm not saying he hasn't done. I'm sure because he's actually a Chicago native, so I'm pretty sure he used to do things back in the day. I don't know, and I can just honestly tell he hasn't really, what I'm saying, really tapped in, which, you know,
hello,
well,
Mr. Harper.
we about to dip, so what's
Nah,
up and goodbye. But now, but yeah, if you're really speaking on the black community about what we do, You damn sure better be involved, and you better have been involved for a very long time, and just very, very lastly, we as Black people, when we make it, I feel like we do got to stick to our roots, but you got to stick to your roots in a safe distance, because you do have people that are looking for a come up, that are jealous of you. But at the same time, if you can make a change, definitely do make that change. And that's all I got to say.
All right, man. That's good word. Good word. Well, everybody, appreciate you guys once again for tuning in. Jump back on at 8:30. Check out our family with the Perception Podcast. I'm pretty sure they're going to have an interesting topic, something that you could take, learn from, and grow with. So with that being said, we out. Appreciate everybody. Until next week, have a good one.